Ripple makes a $1.2 billion acquisition, which is going to bolster their services. It's pretty significant, and it makes it the largest crypto acquisition deal to date. And a major bank has given an XRP price prediction of over $12. I'll share the details there with you. And BlackRock is making a big update with its Bitcoin ETF and its custodians. And the DOJ is dropping its crypto enforcement actions. I'll give you all the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, let's talk about Ripple because there's huge news that came out today. They said here today, Ripple announced it is acquiring Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, becoming the first crypto company to own and operate a global multi-asset prime broker. Together, Ripple and Hidden Road are bringing the promise of digital assets to institutional customers at scale, bridging traditional finance and decentralized finance in ways never seen before. Now, there are multiple takeaways here. First, this acquisition is massive. It's the largest to date in the crypto industry. We've seen around $1 billion, just over $1 billion. Well, Ripple is topping in the charts here at $1.25 billion. And this is a very good sign. They're still bullish. And we're seeing a lot of folks talking about IPOs and doing other M&A activity. I think folks see that there's light at the end of the tunnel after this tariff stuff is being put to bed and that the bull market will continue. Obviously, that's not a guarantee, but I think based on the activities we're seeing, it's a positive sign. Huge acquisition here for Ripple. And Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse weighed in, highlighting the news, saying it's that this deal marks a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for crypto to access the largest and most trusted traditional markets and vice versa. Prime brokers, along with other key functions historically managed by banks for the most part, like Hidden Road, have proven themselves as the trusted intermediary for the largest hedge funds, market makers, OTC desks, quant traders, and more. Ripple has been a customer of Hidden Road for years, and we know their breadth of expertise firsthand, clearing $3 trillion annually for 300 plus of the top financial institutions globally. This is a massive chess move by Ripple. And you know, folks, we've often talked about it. Once they have this all up and running, they're going to introduce XRP Ledger, RLUSD, and much more. Here, Brad talks about it. He said, this is the capital and activity that will tap into XRP and the XRP Ledger's bread and butter, instant, efficient, scalable, and low-cost movement of value. Instead of waiting for less than 24 hours to settle trades through fiat rails, Hidden Road will be using the XRP Ledger for clearing a portion of trades and most consequently using RLUSD as collateral across its prime brokerage services, including cross-asset, crypto, and traditional instrument trades. What a move. And clearly, XRP and the XRP Ledger will be used as well as Ripple's stablecoin RLUSD, which is based on the XRP Ledger. So it's win-win across the board. And not just for Ripple, but for the entire crypto market, guys, because the infrastructure has to be there for institutions and retail to come on board to make it easy. So they're taking an existing business, which obviously was servicing TradFi, and helping them to integrate blockchain. Ripple CTO David Schwartz also weighed in, saying Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road is a defining moment for the XRP Ledger and XRP. The prime broker clears upwards of $10 billion and processes over 50 million transactions a day on various traditional rails, waiting up to 24 hours for those transactions to settle. Now imagine even a portion of the activity on the XRP Ledger. And that's exactly what Hidden Road plans on doing, not to mention future use of collateral and real-world assets tokenized on the XRPL. Incredible news. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, of course, Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple is going to say this. They're biased. They work at Ripple, right? They own XRP. Okay. Well, let me share what Christopher Perkins, and I had him on the podcast in the past. He's the president at CoinFund, so they're a crypto VC firm. He says, as a former TradFi PB and derivatives veteran, I think Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road is a big deal. Most traditional institutions cannot handle directional spot volatility. Therefore, they need to find ways to trade basis, to drive returns. They need capital efficiency and leverage. For this reason, many traded Bitcoin versus Bitcoin futures, but lack of developed onshore regulated futures market beyond a handful of majors have left traditional institutions in with few options. With Hidden Road, Ripple has assembled a formidable derivatives ecosystem that could allow for deeper crypto derivatives liquidity, starting with XRP futures. Hidden Road has an FCM license. FCMs are the intermediaries that are required in the US to clear and execute listed derivatives. Wow. Guys, once again, this is a guy who's not at Ripple, and he's giving an objective view of what's happening here. This is a massive move for Ripple, and it's going to be very beneficial for XRP. Now, speaking of XRP, Standard Chartered sees XRP jumping over 500% to $12.50 by 2028, expects XRP ETF approval in Q3 of 2025. Now, I honestly think if the bull market continues and the ETF for XRP is approved, we could see $12, $10 to $12 this cycle. I would lean more conservative by going 8 to 10, but if things get really bullish, $2 more is not much, right? It's not like they're saying $20. Like some people are there saying 20, 589, 89 and so forth, right? I don't agree with that, but I think this is a decent price prediction. It's not too outlandish or crazy. Now, the analyst at Standard Chartered, Kendrick, he forecasts XRP to hit $5.50, gradually climbing to $8 in 2026, peaking at $12.50 in 2028. So interesting. Some of his statements, he said XRP's blockchain, the XRP ledger, is a payments chain and may become a tokenization chain. So we're starting to see more folks tokenize. He talked about XRP's core function as cross-border payments, the XRP ledger, their stablecoin RLUSD, and much more, and the reasons why they're giving this price prediction, and that he could see XRP's market cap overtaking Ethereum. Now, this is, of course, his prediction. His full name is Jeffrey Kendrick, by the way, and he's the global head of digital assets research at Standard Chartered. And this is just one price prediction, but I don't think this is far-fetched. This is not some like outlandish, crazy price prediction. I think it's reasonable and pretty level-headed, in my opinion. Haters are going to hate, but if you look at the charts, this is not outlandish at all. Now, guys, a great place you can buy XRP and other altcoins and Bitcoin is on Uphold. Uphold is a platform I've been using since 2018. They have 300 plus cryptocurrencies. They recently added staking for 19 cryptocurrencies on their platform, as staking is opening up in the United States. And folks, they're easy to use, safe to use, they're reliable, and they don't commingle or lend out your crypto funds. They are 100% reserved. They have a transparency report that you can review. And folks, they have a great rewards program where you can earn up to 5.25% on stablecoins. And part of this rewards program, you get 24-hour early access to any new tokens that they list. So to participate, you have to open the app once per month, deposit $50 once per month, and trade $50 once per month. And you can get the access to the rewards. And the stablecoins they support are Ripple's RLUSD, Circle's USDC, PayPal's PYUSD, and USBC. Now, USBC gives you 5.25%, but you get 5% on RLUSD, USDC, and PYUSD. So great rewards program here, guys. So if you'd like to learn more, visit the link in the description. Now, folks, interesting news around BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF Custody. So the top spot Bitcoin ETF issuer, BlackRock, adds Anchorage Digital as a custodian. This is great news, guys, because we want diversification when it comes to custody. Right now, BlackRock was custodying all their stuff with Coinbase. Nothing wrong with Coinbase, but I believe they should diversify the assets as far as how it's being custodied and stored, right? So there's no single point of failure, if you know what I mean. It's just proper risk management, right? And we know BlackRock, they have the biggest Bitcoin ETF, and it's about $44 billion of assets under management, which is crazy when you think about it. So Anchorage Digital is a trusted custodian. I've interviewed folks from there a couple of times, and they actually have a banking license, if I'm not mistaken, a chartered banking license, I think it's called. So they've been in the business for a long time. So this is really great to see. Now, guys, tomorrow there's going to be a vote for SEC Chair Paul Atkins, or the nominee, but I think he's going to be in, right? So that's going to take place at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. So this is really great to have his full confirmation in place and get him in office. And I think that will help fast track a lot of stuff, like getting the ETFs, altcoin ETFs, prepped for approval, which may not happen right away. Of course, he's going to have to ramp up and get things going. It may happen in Q3, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, some very bullish news. The DOJ, they're dropping their regulation by enforcement, essentially. So Amanda Tuminelli from the DeFi Education Fund said, major update regarding the DOJ and the prosecution of digital assets. The department will stop participating in regulation by prosecution in this space. This memo from the Deputy Attorney General does a few important things, including making it clear the DOJ is not going after exchanges and wallets for actions of third parties, and the DOJ is not a regulator of Section 1960 registration violations. So we saw regulation by enforcement and at the SEC. It's happening here at the DOJ. And remember, all these people were coerced under the Biden administration, specifically by Elizabeth Warren, who had her cronies in all the different parts of the government, and the biggest one being Gary Gensler, of course. So all this stuff is coming to an end. This is why I'm bullish, regardless of the macro headwinds we're facing right now with the tariffs. Guys, look at the macro, look at the setup that's happening here for capital to come in, the regulations, the moves that are being made. It's pretty incredible. Now, we got some interesting news here. Apollo Global invests in tokenized real-world assets firm Plume Network. So the investment, the expansions continue. Apollo Global Management has made a strategic investment into Plume Network, the real-world asset tokenization firm, bringing solar assets, equities, and real estate on chain. Plume's testnet has over 18 million wallets, according to the firm. So guys, these are all healthy signs. I've often said, if you're an entrepreneur, go pitch your idea, because you're going to get money. There's a lot of firms out there that are ready to invest in crypto projects and companies that are building the infrastructure, and tokenization is going to be a big part of this. Now, speaking of tokenization, Base, which is Coinbase's Ethereum Layer 2 chain, and stablecoin set stage for Coinbase to become mission critical for crypto infrastructure, Cantor Fitzgerald says. Cantor Fitzgerald, of course, headed up by Howard Lutnick, who's the Secretary of Commerce, I believe, in the Trump administration, very bullish on crypto. They own crypto, of course. So they're saying that Coinbase is best positioned for crypto's chat GPT moment as the institutional tide builds. Coinbase could see a 5 to 10x stablecoin revenue growth by 2030, according to Cantor, which gave Coin a $245 target. So Coinbase's stock, of course. Now, I think they're not wrong here. Coinbase is doing a lot, guys, a lot. I've interviewed quite a few folks there, and the building that's happening, and I think it was a genius move to have Base, and they don't have a token. They just kind of, collect the fees. It's amazing. It's helping their revenue, and they're doing an amazing job getting adoption. Here's another example. Aave Gachi NFT gaming community votes to migrate to Base, sunset Polygon deployment. Not so much good news for Polygon, but they're going to Base. A great example of that, right? So this was according to a governance decision. So the strategic shift comes after development company Pixelcraft Studios made significant team cuts to reduce our burn and extend runway. So that's a quote there. So great move by Coinbase. I do have some Coinbase stock. I will be looking to add some as we see where this market, is almost near the bottom. Obviously, no one can directly call the bottom, but the prices are depreciated right now. So I think, Coinbase is going to do well. This is not financial advice. I do have stocks for different crypto companies and things like that, and Coinbase has been the primary one. But as others go public, like your Circles and even your Krakens, I'm going to take positions not when they're exactly IPOing and the price pumping, right? I don't buy pumps like that. I'm going to wait for them to, when the price goes down, take my positions, obviously do my research, right? Make sure that they have a solid roadmap and see what they have on the horizon and then take my positions, guys, because I know crypto is only going to continue to grow, guys. We're still very early. Now, look at this. Stablecoin infrastructure platform M0 expands to Solana. So I remember interviewing the founder of M0, I think it was sometime last year, and they are building unique stablecoins. So now they're expanding to Solana. They were on Ethereum first. So we're seeing expansion. And guys, I've often talked about we're headed to a multi-chain world, and you're going to see stable coins and different coins being issued on multiple blockchains. There's not going to be one blockchain to rule them all. That's very silly if you think that. There's going to be multiple chains and they're going to be interoperable. So that is what we can expect. So M0, an EVM protocol for stablecoin coordination, has expanded to Solana. The team told Lightspeed exclusively. M0's first Solana user will be Cast, a platform offering banking-like services with stablecoins. The move comes as various and sundry actors bring new stablecoins to market, and M0 hopes to unify the increasingly fragmented sector. So they're trying to build interoperability between these different stablecoins and much more. So, guys, I'm so bullish on what's happening. I'm not bullish on what's happening in the market conditions, but the setup, right? All of these things are going to lead to higher prices. All the investments, the acquisitions, the building of the infrastructure to onboard more institutions, more retail, and this is a global movement. So it's not just a United States asset class. You're going to have capital flowing in from across the world. And we're seeing competitions heating up globally, game theories playing out with the governments, with the private sector, the businesses, and much more. It's exciting. So as always, be patient, have the macro view, and don't be emotional about these investments, guys. We're here to make money, but don't get too emotional, because the market will wreck you if you're operating by your emotions, because the markets are, of course, volatile, and especially crypto, because it's still a very young market. That's why there's a lot of opportunity here. Folks, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. A great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. It's on Substack. Also, check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my new course at mycryptocourse.com. Expand your crypto knowledge. Knowledge is power. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you every facet of crypto. So if you'd like to learn more, go to mycryptocourse.com. All the links will be in the description. Guys, thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.